Tonight on News 22.
Shelby Cap is in El Paso with the latest border news.
Michaela Romero talks to a farmer who's worried farming is a dying way of life.
And Andrea Vasquez investigates an art project looking to share the truth.
All that and more on News 22 Thursday.
Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Garcia Moreno.
And I'm Alyssa Tejas. The activity at the U.S.-Mexico border shows no sign of abating.
As more people arrive seeking asylum, more soldiers are on the way. News 22's Shelby Cap was at the Santa Fe Bridge in El Paso earlier today and has this report.
Here at the downtown port of entry, and as you can see, there are people here waiting to seek asylum lined up on the bridge. Now, there are people that are coming from parts of Central America like Honduras, other parts of Mexico like Michoacan, and there are even some amongst the group from Cuba. Now, we spoke to the Mexican Red Cross, and they told us that there have been over 100 people here waiting to seek asylum, and that there are more on the way. We'll go ahead and keep you updated on this story as it progresses. Shelby Cap, reporting at the downtown bridge. Back to you.
President Donald Trump is considering sending thousands of troops to the southern border to stop the migrant caravan from making its way to the U.S.
Mary Maloney reports.
And they got a lot of rough people in those caravans. They are not angels. As far as the caravan is concerned, our military is out. We have about 5,008. We'll go up to anywhere between 10 and 15,000 military personnel on top of Border Patrol, ICE, and everybody else at the border. It's been a highly successful meeting we had today.
The support that we provide to the Secretary for Homeland Security is practical support based on the requests from the Commissioner of Customs and Border Police, and so we don't do stunts in this department. Thank you.
So we had some spooky Halloween weather yesterday with a hailstorm, and then it was sunny. Did you get caught in it?
No, I didn't, luckily, but I wonder if there's more hail in our forecast. Andres is next with the first look at weather.
Good thing to say, that thing was short-lived. We're going to take a look at our current conditions right now. We're going to have clear skies, temperatures at 58 degrees, and our winds coming from the north at 9 miles per hour. Humidity is at 32%, dew point at 30 degrees, and our barometer sits at 30.05 inches. As of today, we did reach a high of 65, which is below average for this time of year. We should be around the 70s for November 1st even, and we did wake up to a chilly 36 degrees. We did see a 1/10 of an inch yesterday, but not today, so our yearly rainfall sits at 7.17 inches. I have more to talk about later. We're going to talk about a key element that may affect your weekend plans, but for right now, let's take it back to the folks on the desk.
President Trump is trying to work with China on trade. The president tweeted he met with Chinese leaders on Thursday. Tariffs are already having an effect on American produce, among them soybean production. In September, the U.S. Department of Agriculture provided farmers with $4.7 billion. But the National Milk Producers Federation says dairy products have lost more than $1 billion in revenue because of tariffs imposed by Mexico and China.
We were taking care of other countries, and we were letting our country go to hell in trade and in so many other ways.
President Trump and China's President Xi Jinping are scheduled to meet in a month at the G20 summit in Argentina.
Less than 2% of the workforce here in the U.S. has to do with agricultural production.
But that 2% is getting older and eventually will be too old to keep up with crops. Michaela Romero speaks to a rare young farmer and his thoughts on the issue.
Another quarter-inch down. So there's
as soon as the sun rises, Lucas Ogaz is out here tending his chili crop. It's a family operation. He farms 2,000 acres in 4 locations. 3 are in New Mexico and the other in Mexico. But Lucas is a rarity. Most farmers today are close to retirement, and very few young people want to take over. Lucas thinks it's because younger people see so many different opportunities.
I think the younger generation, our generation, they see a lot more of the IT and they see the ability to sit behind a desk. It might be a little bit easier.
But without farmers, where would we get our food? NMSU agriculture professor Frank Ward says we don't realize where the food in the supermarket comes from.
As long as it's on the grocery store shelves, they're pretty happy, and if they can afford it, they're pretty happy.
He says the declining number of farmers could actually be good for those who are left.
Higher prices from less food itself could make it re-attractive to farmers because farms cost lots of money and they can earn income from selling food.
And that's what Lucas is hoping for.
And my dad helped my grandpa and so forth, so I do see my kids helping out. I'll do the same 4-H, showing there at the fairs and everything like that. I spent my time, I did my time doing all that, so I'll teach my kids the same values.
Lucas says he can't see himself do anything else. His advice to those thinking about farming, it's hard work and long days, but it is worthwhile. Kayla Romero, News 22.
Stay tuned. Andres will be back with your national forecast.
But first, Andrea Vasquez introduces us to a man who's traveling the world looking for an answer to life's greatest question. More on that when News 22 continues.
KRWG Public Media would like to thank the Border Artists and Cutter Gallery for the benefit show What We Love. A portion of proceeds from art sold at the show will help your public media organization. The art will be on display through November 3rd at the Cutter Gallery at the corner of El Paseo and University in Las Cruces. What We Love, benefiting KRWG Public Media. Registering to vote in New Mexico is easy. Forms are available at Department of Motor Vehicles offices and your county clerk's office. And those with a driver's license or other state ID may register to vote online at sos.state.nm.us. You must be 18 years old at the time of the next election. Voting is a responsibility of citizenship. This message brought to you by KRWG.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Thursday,
where news matters. What is the truth? That is what one American artist is trying to determine. He has been going around the world for the past 8 years to find out what is truth.
News 22 Andrea Vasquez is there to unravel the honesty of his art project.
Here in the borderland, it's called verdad. In other parts of the world, it's called truth. In Afghanistan, it's called haggadah. It's an inflatable recording booth shaped as a speech bubble. Jim Ricks created it as a global art project.
You can't really tell people what the truth is. You have to ask them what it is.
Jim Ricks is in search of people's truths and what they believe about any topic, any place, and anyone.
Everybody has their own version of the truth. What is yours? And in that sense, it's such a simple question, but it's such an unanswerable and complex question at the same time. And the result is really that people are kind of sharing a moment in their life, you know, whatever's on their mind. I mean, the truth for you might change over the course of the day or the course of the week or over the course of your life.
Traveling from Mexico City to El Paso and now here on the campus. This global art project is asking what students believe, what their truth is.
I just said it's so freeing. It gets me away from like just the everyday hustle of life. It's just kind of like a cool message to say, like just to hear from everyone else and what their truth is for their life.
My truth was that I don't feel safe in America because I come from a Mexican family, you know, I'm Latina, so especially like with like our president and stuff. I feel much hate towards diversity.
I think it's extremely important currently to kind of, for each one of us, to take stock in and think about what the truth is to each one of us. We're living in a somewhat tumultuous time where the truth is constantly in question.
Rick says, truth is just a vehicle to create a broader portrait of people. I'm Andrea Vasquez with News 22.
The interviews will be part of a documentary of the journey of the Truth Booth. The Truth Booth's last stops are in Tucson, Arizona and Los Angeles, California. Plans are to show it at the Hirshhorn Museum at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. next year. A dozen children from around the world will never forget this Halloween in New Mexico. It's the day they became American citizens. 12 kids from 8 countries took part in a naturalization ceremony in Albuquerque on Wednesday. The children celebrated their newly obtained U.S. citizenship during a special Halloween-themed ceremony. After the ceremony, the kids went trick-or-treating. Instead of going from house to house, they went from throughout the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services field office.
Two medical marijuana dispensaries in Española will stay open after all. A federal judge is ordering the New Mexico Department of Health to let them stay in business. The Albuquerque Journal reports the New Mexico Department of Health wanted the nonprofit stores closed down because they were inside a senior living facility. Health Department officials say they're reviewing the judge's ruling and considering appeal. In a move that has taken years of research and advocacy, the FDA has approved a prescription drug made from cannabis.
Javier Gutierrez gives us the details on a groundbreaking decision in today's Health Minute.
Many parents and patients across the country may finally be able to breathe a sigh of relief when it comes to treatment options for certain types of epilepsy. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved the first cannabis-based drug, and as of Thursday, it's available in all 50 states. Epidiolex is a twice-daily oral solution for patients ages 2 and older who suffer from Dravet syndrome or Lennox-Gastaut syndrome.
Many in the medical community over the last 5 years have started to be increasingly persuaded that marijuana, that cannabis, can be a medicine. This is the plant itself that has been distilled down into a medicine. So it's a plant-based medicine, and it's gone through the FDA approval process, clinical trial process, and is now available. I think that's very validating.
During clinical trials, Epidiolex was added to 3 other seizure medicines. On average, it was able to reduce convulsive seizures by 25 to 28%. It is only available with a prescription, and while costly, GW Pharmaceuticals does expect most insurance plans to cover it. Advocates hope this is just the beginning for approved uses of Epidiolex and other CBD medicines.
Look at the cannabis plant that has all these various components. THC is the component that people associate with euphoria and getting high. CBD, which is what this particular part of the plant is this medicine, in this case, to treat seizures. So they're not getting the high from it.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Javier Gutierrez.
So I heard the weather is clearing up. We're not expecting any more hurricanes or tropical storms, which I'm really glad to hear.
That's great. I'm wondering what else is happening.
Andres is next with our national weather.
Well, things are going to be pretty quiet here. We're going to take a broader look on this map, get our national map on here. We have cooler temperatures, as you can see, that's pushed in through the middle of the country, 37 in Albuquerque, 43 in El Paso, 55 in Phoenix, and 60 in Los Angeles. On our next map, though, I'm going to detail why we're going to stay pretty quiet here in the borderland. We have this high-pressure system sitting over the Great Basin, and high pressure for us means quieter and sunnier conditions. But this is also going to bring in some bad weather, so to say, for Southern California, which I can detail in our next map. High pressure sitting over here is going to bring in some Santa Ana winds for Southern California, but for us looking into Election Day, we're going to stay pretty dry and mild here in the borderland region. I'll detail our temperatures coming up.
Here and Now, NPR News middays, weekday afternoons from noon to 2 on 90.7 FM and streaming live on KRWG.org.
Next time on A Chef's Life.
Here they come.
Here's your fish.
Oh, cool. I'll have a special connection to these.
There you go.
We're doing a Feast of the Seven Fishes dinner. So we'll start plating now, and we'll help run it up. Being back at the restaurant, that ain't no joke.
Saturday morning at 10:30 on KRWG Public Media.
Coming up on Austin City Limits.
Saturday at 9 p.m. on KRWG Public Media.
Well, it's my favorite time of the year. It's time to turn back your clocks this Sunday. Daylight saving time will end. Will give us an extra hour of sleep and will bring you some daylight when you wake up. The fire department is giving away free batteries for your fire alarms as the time changes. Distribution for the batteries will be tomorrow, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at these locations listed on the screen. And now let's talk current temperatures around the state of New Mexico. Hopefully. There we go. Let's talk some current temperatures across the state of New Mexico. Right now we're looking at 51 degrees in Farmington, 47 in Gallup, 41 in Santa Fe, it's showbiz, 52 in Albuquerque, 49 in Clovis, 53 in Socorro, 44 in Ruidoso, 54 in Roswell, 58 in Las Cruces, and 59 in Deming. Now, as for tomorrow, we're going to see some temperatures gradually increase into the upper 60s around the state, as well as the upper 50s. 54 in Santa Fe, 61 in Gallup, 62 in Farmington, 64 in Socorro, and 68 in Deming and Las Cruces. As for tonight, we are going to see clear skies, low 40 degrees in TRC, a high of 69 for tomorrow. And then for Alamogordo, or Silver City, I should say, 30. we're gonna see a low temperature of 37 degrees for tonight. 68. We're gonna warm up tomorrow. I'll let you know what to expect this coming week in your 5-day forecast coming up later on.
Police in Houston are trying to identify the body of a baby boy.
The remains were found last night. Here's Luis Cázares with today's Southwest Minute.
Police think it might be 2-year-old Hosanna Anderson, who was reported missing Sunday morning. He was last seen at a park. Police are now working to make a positive identification. Arizona authorities are investigating an attempted firebombing in Tucson. Someone threw flammable liquid at a Marines recruiting facility, a Chase Bank, a Starbucks, and a Wells Fargo bank. The devices did not explode, so nothing caught fire. Police say the person responsible could be facing several different charges. There's a legal showdown on the Pueblo County Prairie in Colorado. A ranch owner sued, saying a nearby marijuana grow house emits noxious odors. He says the smell is hurting the property value, but the grow house owner says his ventilation system traps the air. The trial is expected to last a week. I'm Luis Cáceres with the Southwest Minute.
Time is running out to see one of the world's most prestigious art exhibits. The Prado in Las Cruces is a free traveling exhibition from the Museo Nacional del Prado. It will be on display at Plaza Place next to the Plaza de las Cruces in downtown. They will be giving 30 to 45-minute tours on Tuesday mornings at 10:30 a.m. and Saturday afternoons at 2 p.m. The theme of the tours will change but may include religion, works of the Spanish masters, mythology, and royalty. The last day to see the artwork will be November 28th.
Marching bands from across the Southwest are putting away their instruments. New Mexico State University hosted the 41st annual tournament of bands. The competition was on Saturday. It began at 8 a.m. and went until 11 p.m. There were 2 rounds at the tournament. Schools selected at the preliminaries went on to compete after 5 p.m. Stephen Smith, the director of bands at NMSU, says he was impressed with the talent he saw.
Not only is it fun to compete and have all of that, issue or that fun, it's also great for all the parents to join and see other people and meet other band parents and see other bands, and kind of it's a big band community. It's a lot of fun.
26 bands competed at the event. El Paso's Coronado High School were the champions. The only school from Las Cruces to place was Oñate for 5th place. So that football game is coming up, Alcorn State. I'm really excited.
Me too. Are you going to attend?
I hope so. Michaela's next with our look at sports.
Thanks, Alyssa and Kelly. Coming up in sports, find out who's playing in high school football this weekend. We'll be right back with News 22 Sports.
From great performances comes one of Broadway's best musicals, the Tony-winning An American in Paris. And when this boy meets this girl, Robert Fairchild and Leanne Cope dance their way into a gloriously old-fashioned love story. With a sensational Gershwin score.
Who could ask for anything more?
Look for An American in Paris, the musical.
Come on, it'll be fun.
Only on Great Performances.
Friday at 8 p.m. on KRWG-Public Media.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
How can this house of secrets ever be called a home?
You would be signing his death warrant. Is that what you want?
I'm going to be exploring using laser technology to reveal secrets of the ancient world in a whole new way.
He said, "Welcome home." It was just a powerful moment.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station, sign in, and start streaming today.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back. I'm Michaela Romero, and let's talk sports. It's the last home game of the season for the Aggies, and if you can make it, you should head out to the NMSU men's football game this Saturday. The Aggies are determined to break their 3-game losing streak with a win against the Alcorn State Braves. The Braves have an overall record of 7-2, and the Aggies have a record of 2-7. The game starts at 2 at the Aggie Memorial Stadium. And after that, the Aggies have 3 more games left for the season. The El Paso Chihuahuas have lost an essential piece of their incredible 3-year run. Manager Rod Barajas, a 14-year Major League Baseball veteran, joined the Chihuahuas for the 2016 season. In 3 years, he led the Chihuahuas to 3 consecutive division titles, 2 conference championships, and a Pacific Coast AAA League championship yesterday. Barajas was promoted by the San Diego Padres as their Major League bench coach. And now the Chihuahuas began their search for his replacement. Friday Night Lights is back once again. This weekend is a big weekend for Las Cruces Public Schools football. The Centennial Hawks are expected to keep up with their 9-game winning streak against the Gadsden Panthers, who have a record of 1-8. And the Oñate Knights are on a bye week this weekend. The Las Cruces Bulldogs will face off the Mayfield Trojans this Friday. It's expected to be a close game. The Bulldogs have a record of 5-4, while the Trojans have a record of 6-3. They will play at the Field of Dreams. And a local business is preparing for the high school rivalry game this weekend. Sports Accessories has been selling Las Cruces High Mayfield versus Mayfield t-shirts since 2002. So far this year, sales have been booming. Be sure to stop by Sports Accessories to get your own shirt.
We've almost sold out of all of our t-shirts. We did sell out of all of the long sleeves. We are reprinting it tonight in the morning, so we'll be restocked. Sales have been really good.
An NMSU graduate has solidified several more years in the NBA. Pascal Siakam spent 2013 to 2016 with New Mexico State. He was drafted with the 27th overall pick in the 2016 NBA draft by the Toronto Raptors. Siakam has had tremendous success off the bench for the Raptors, playing an important role in their playoff runs these past 2 seasons. The Raptors have inked him to a team option that will keep him under contract until 2020. And that's all for your sports tonight. Join us for more sports action next week. Still ahead on News 22, Andres will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast. Red Sox may have gotten out without a scratch, but their trophy may need a little polish. More on that when News 22 continues.
Next time on A Chef's Life.
Here they come.
There's your fish.
Oh, cool. I'll have a special connection to these.
There you go.
We're doing a Feast of the Seven Fishes dinner. So we'll start plating now and we'll help run it up. Being back at the restaurant, that ain't no joke.
Saturday morning at 10:30 on KRWG Public Media.
What made these Antiques Roadshow fans so happy?
I've seen thousands of Babe Ruth baseballs, and this one on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 10.
Wow. Holy cannoli.
Really?
Good find.
Tell me more. Don't miss these amazing moments and more from Charleston, West Virginia, next time on Antiques Roadshow.
Monday at 7 p.m. on KRWG Public Media.
They went into my home, picked up my children, and placed them in a foster home.
They cut their hair, take away their clothes, forbidden to speak their language.
What else do you call it besides cultural genocide?
I can't get over the nightmares.
Dawnland. Monday at 9 p.m. on KRWG Public Media.
Let's take a look at our top stories. Shelby Cap visits El Paso to assess migration at the border. More people are coming to seek asylum. The Trump administration has sent troops to the border to meet the migrants. Michaela Romero tells the story of a chili farmer and the decline of farmer in the U.S. Farmers Association. Lucas Ogaz says he thinks young people see more opportunity outside of the farm. And Andrea Vasquez introduces us to Jim Ricks. He is an American artist traveling across the globe. He asks people what their version of the truth is. He stopped at the NMSU campus, and his search will continue to Arizona and California.
The Red Sox are wondering how they can fix their brand new World Series trophy. During the World Series Red Sox victory parade, the World Series trophy got dented by a beer can. Fans tossed beer cans at the players as they rode past Boston. One player had the trophy over his head when it got hit. The metal flags bent when the can hit the trophy. Later, the bent trophy appeared in pictures with pitcher David Price.
What was that, Bud Light? That's pretty cheap. Not the trophy, at least. Well, let's talk weather. 5-day forecast. The weekend always in view. We're going to stay a little warm for tomorrow, high of 68, before some cooler air moves in for your Saturday. But we're going to stay pretty quiet for the rest of the week.
And remember, you can catch all of today's aired stories and past newscasts on our YouTube page at youtube.com/KRWG News 22.
And that's all for News 22 Thursday. Thank you everyone for joining us.
This news brief in Español is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Los saluda Coral Godoy en este breve informativo de Noticias 22. Este miércoles de El Salvador salió una caravana de salvadoreños que busca llegar a Estados Unidos. Los migrantes van a recorrer 126 kilómetros para llegar a la frontera llamada La Chadura, para ingresar a Guatemala. Según informaciones de la Policía Civil salvadoreña, son cerca de 800 migrantes que cuentan que lo único que buscan son mejores oportunidades de vida. El presidente Trump informó que enviará 15,000 tropas a la frontera con México a la respuesta hacia las caravanas de migrantes centroamericanos. En otras noticias, la policía de las Cruces está investigando 2 incidentes de disparos. En el primer incidente, un hombre de 39 años fue herido en una pierna con una bala. La víctima indicó que el sospechoso estaba posiblemente en un vehículo Nissan Altima con otras 3 personas. Después de esto, un hombre de 21 años que estaba en un estacionamiento de la tienda de Pickwick también fue impactado por una bala. Las autoridades piensan que un vehículo de color oscuro está involucrado en el incidente. Las autoridades también informan que las heridas de los 2 hombres no ponen en riesgo sus vidas. ¿Alguna persona con información? Favor de llamar al Departamento de Policía de las Cruces al número que aparece en su pantalla. Invitamos a los residentes de Las Cruces a que nos sigan en nuestras redes sociales de Facebook e Instagram. Esto ha sido todo por hoy. Gracias por su atención. Para ustedes, Noticias 22, Coral Godoy.